Bonjour, this is Jasmine. Thank you so much for stopping to smell the roses on Rue Madame. For those of you who are new to the neighborhood, I am a writer, a storyteller, and a community builder. I write about culture, politics, parenthood, and my life here in France. And today I have a special panel for you. It's a group of millennials that is on my timeline, and it's very vocal about their political views. They have very interesting and poignant points of views, and I brought them together so they can discuss what they think about the political atmosphere and the election and what happened in the debates. So help me in welcoming them to Madame. Thank you guys for coming to give me your 2 cents on the political atmosphere, the election, etc. You were saying, Joshua, that Joe Biden is not your cup of tea, and you just want to get Donald Trump out of office.
Yes,
Why do you?
definitely.
Why did you say he's not your cup of tea?
Uh, I'm done with moderates. I'm 30. I remember when I was 18, I got to vote for Barack Obama with all my other fellow freshmen at Eastern Michigan, and we live in a basically mostly black dorm. We all came outside, basically shut the campus down. We were excited, we were activated, we were really ready to get involved, and we thought that the world that our parents told us and our grandparents told us that was starting to change. Maybe we could actually make a change in it. And moderates have blocked us every way pathway for the past 12 years since I've been an adult. So I they're not Republicans. That's just straight up evil people who just don't believe in governing. But yeah,
I'm glad you mentioned Barack Obama because I was thinking of a quote that I remember him saying. This was last year. And I'm going to read you the article. It says former President Barack Obama cautioned on Friday that candidates running in the 2020 race pay attention to, quote, to where voters actually are, and suggested that many Americans could be turned off by policy proposals that are too bold. So he's quoted in saying, "This is still a country that is less revolutionary than it is interested in improvement." He said, "They like seeing things improve, but the average American doesn't think we have to completely tear down the system and remake it." And I think it's important for us to not lose sight of that. And when I thought of that then, and then when I look at now, it's like I think he was a little out of touch with where people are since we have protests in the streets right now, and the pandemic broke out. So like you were saying, my question is, do you think Democrats, like laissez-faire, on the fence, undecided, like in the middle type of governing, is why we have Donald Trump now? That's my question. What do you think, Ed?
uh,
Well,
yes and no. But you can go first, Ed. You can go
Go
first.
ahead, Ed.
okay, me personally, just to touch on what you're saying, and I think the current state of, you know, everything going on in the country, like just as a black man, like Democrats in office have kind of like pushed me to be on the fence as far as like who to vote for and like specifically like what policies I'm voting for. Like before we came on here, like I did like 2 hours worth of research, just like looking up, what these candidates specifically want to do like for the country. And the only thing I could find is like a bunch of like generalizations. Like they say the Democrats are more concerned with like, human rights as opposed to the Republicans who are more concerned with like pro business affairs and like pro military affairs and things of that nature. So I think like, I think it's good to have balance, but also like as far as a party goes, I think people look to the party to like lean one way or another way. Like
Right.
ultimately, like I feel like Donald Trump doesn't need to be in office because like he's like hateful and he's a criminal, in all sorts of different kind of ways. But if there was a politician, who could get laws passed through the Senate and you know, they affected the world or the country as a whole, like in a positive manner. Like for gun control, for instance, like, yeah, there's tons of gun violence around the country. Like, it's awful, but I'm not opposed to the Second Amendment. Like, I don't think people should have to give up their guns. And then I don't even know what that would look like. Like, I feel like that would like cripple this country. Like, there would be, you know, anarchy, and I think the country would fall apart if we try to do something like that.
Do
Same
you
with
think
abortion.
Democrats is caused Donald Trump to be elected?
I don't know about that. I think corruption caused Donald Trump to be elected, and that's why if he doesn't get elected again, he's facing these federal charges.
Right.
And I think this election is going to be tricky. Like, I know on voting day, when people go to the polls, like, I hope people don't expect to get an answer as to who's going to be the next president unless it's like a blowout, because we still have to wait for all these absentee votes to come in. And I feel like half of those aren't even going to make it because they have like specific mailboxes just for votes. Like, you think nobody's going to target any of those?
Right.
Like, it's going to be
what
crazy.
do you think,
but I don't.
Joshua?
I agree with your first statement. Or I guess I agree with. Was it a Barack Obama quote?
Yeah, because he said that people aren't revolutionary and people just want improvements. They don't want to tear down the system. Do you agree with that?
I'm going to have to say, because I'm a community organizer, technically, just like Obama was. Like, most of my jobs have been in talking to people in different communities here in Michigan, Washington, Oregon, and a couple other states I've been to. And he's right. There are about 330 million, 340 million people in this country, and about 230 of them are white. Yeah, they don't want to see their everyday white privileges, everything change. They don't want to see that there was no revolution upset. They're good. Have you been to some of their neighborhoods? Why would you want change if you have that? I've worked in landscaping for years. I've worked in home care for a lot of rich old people for years.
And they don't want to see that.
Nobody wants change. They don't. They good.
But with the last 4 years, do you think that's the same type of mentality?
No,
I mean, like,
no. They don't want to be seen as bad. Donald Trump is making them look bad.
Right.
He's making America look bad. So we can't even, other countries, we can't even travel to other countries right now. White people, American white men, can't go wherever the fuck they want anywhere in the world right now.
Yeah, that is true.
He needs to go. Because he's not just affecting. Yes, we've been screwed over since we got here.
This is my last thing on Barack Obama, because I don't know if you remember when he was elected, or since I read Michelle Obama's autobiography. In her book, she said that Barack Obama was never Black enough. He was never white enough, I guess, for white people, like white sounding or, intelligent enough, I should say. So he was always like in between, and he didn't feel accepted by either group, really. But when I hear comments like, the average American don't want the system to be redone completely, it kind of like gives our community kind of like, yeah, we were right to like question Barack Obama's Blackness, because if his priority is the average American and not us, I guess that they had a point to say, oh, we don't know about you if we're not if we don't have an agenda, and if our agenda isn't front and center, yeah, we do have a reason to question you. So do you think that comment when he said like the average American, him like focusing on white America, essentially, what do you think?
No, Barack Obama was the first Black president of the Harvard Law Review. The man's not dumb. The man knows what he's talking about. You got to listen to his words. Listen to exactly what he's saying, because he's speaking through the lines when you hear him. Now, granted, I was a sociology and political science person, so like I can hear the little talking points he like weaves through. But he's tender-footed for us too. Look at the numbers. Most Americans don't want change. They literally had us enslaved 100-something 50 years ago.
I'm gonna have to cut you off just a minute. I'm gonna welcome somebody else that's just coming in.
All right.
This is Felix. He's from Germany, and he is really into American politics. And I brought him in so he can give us his point of view, because a lot of people in America don't know what other countries are saying about us, for example, or how ridiculous we look to the outside world. So that's why I thought he would be a great add to our panel. So if you can welcome Felix. I don't know if he can hear us.
What's up, Felix? Well, what was I saying? I forgot. What was the question?
You were saying how white people want to be comfortable. And how
we saw Barack Obama and his blackness. And the fact that we had a right to that criticism because of that. No. And I think the reason I would say, like, prior to me living in the majority white community, I would have said yes, because he was in the circle, but like this country is deeply, 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 deeply racist on ways that we like. It goes even further than race. It goes further than like how your place they feel you are in the world.
Do you have any criticisms of our former president?
Oh yes, I have the same criticisms. I just don't think it affects his blackness.
Okay. My next, we're gonna switch over to the debates because they were recent, like just the other day. And I was talking to you, Ed, and you were telling me about how it was quite entertaining but disappointing. The first debate with the president and Joe Biden. Tell me about what you thought of it.
Yeah, I just thought they were going to start fighting eventually. They were just talking over the moderator, and it was just like a dog fight, basically. Like, I didn't really feel like any major points were being made. Like, one candidate would say something, and then the other one would just say they were lying. And then the other one would tell them to shut up. Like at one point, I thought they were about to start fighting for real. And it kind of sucks that the one last night was canceled or whatever. I was looking forward to it, but it is what it is. And the vice presidential debate was all right too. People were saying that in the beginning, like Mike Pence was talking over Kamala Harris. And but I feel like towards the middle and the end, like she was just like really giving him a hard time. I kind of felt bad for the guy, and then I saw that fly land on his head, and I was just like, "Oh, it's over." Like that's the only thing. And then that's the only thing that people remembered up to them.
Hi, DJ. I don't know. Oh yeah, your mic.
Oh, sorry. Hi, everybody. My apologies. I'm running a little late. I'm at work, so I kind of had to step away.
No problem. Thank you for coming to give your 2 cents on.
Thank you for having me.
Hi, Felix. You're on mute too. Let me unmute you. What did you think of the debate, DJ?
So the presidential debate was it was a mess. It exposed what we already knew. You know what I mean? I hope this is the last time that we're gonna have two old white men battling it out for a country that they're supposed to represent that looks nothing like them. If you look at the population of the country, Latinx people are, I think, like 18% and growing. Black people are 12, 13% roughly. And the age population, I think the average person is in their like 30s or 40s. So you have two 78-year-olds who are 74 or 78, whatever they are, battling it out to lead a country that they're not even going to be able to enjoy because they're going to be dead. You're trying to make rules. And even if you look at the age of Congress, you have people that are way older than the country that they're making decisions for and rules for. So when you say what was the debate like, for me, it was two old white men arguing at a Public or a Kroger or whatever your region is, grocery store, about things that are not going to, in a country that they're not going to be able, again, to enjoy.
Do you think the debate format is kind of outdated? I mean, do you think we even need debates in 2020 or in further and beyond? Or
I think they could be beneficial if we have good moderators. I think because if you get to hear directly from the candidates how they feel, so good questions, good moderators, and people being respectful, yes. What we saw from the presidential debate, that was it was still helpful in a way because you were able to just see Trump made the white supremacists, stand back and stand by. You were able to see this man in action.
right?
It's easy to talk about it and all that. So yes and no. I think there's, it was a lot of BS that came from out of that debate, but it was a lot of like, here's what we've been telling y'all all along about this.
Right.
And so yeah, I think there's could be good and bad.
I want to bring Felix in since you are from. I feel like since you're like not in America and you're not in that bubble, what is your perception of America and the politics in America from where you are?
Wow, that's a big one. So first of all, that debate was, well, it was one for the books, but actually it was something that I expected this way. I didn't find it as horrible as what I could see afterwards on CNN when they were making this whole big circus of, oh, I couldn't watch it with my little daughter because she was crying and everything. I found it a little bit over the top because we know who Trump is. We know who he ran in 2016. And we knew what didn't work in 2016 means letting him run over you. So I think Biden did quite a fine job, like trying to counterpunch once in a while. But there were so many times where I thought he should have even been tougher. Like, for example, one thing that really stuck out for me was first this stand back and stand by statement, where especially the moderator should have like asked him to clarify, because this way you could like wiggle out of this. Then the second one, which was almost equally as appalling, was when he said that out of his rallies, there was no consequences, no fatalities. And if I was Joe Biden, I would say, ask Herman Cain, your friend, ask his widow, who's now there, the kids, without the grandfather. Herman Cain was sacrificed for the Republican campaign. And Trump standing there saying, no, nobody died. Yeah, Herman Cain died after visiting this rally in Oklahoma. So I think Biden could have went more into this direction and be more on the attacking side even, because I mean, it is battle. I don't think the concept of the debate is outdated at all. I think we need these things that have importance for the whole country, because otherwise it's like everyone is in their bubble. Republicans just watching Fox News or watching their channels, liberals going at MSNBC, going on CNN. And we need some kind of like debates worldwide for nations where people are still have at least some kind of, try to debate, try to
right.
exchange arguments. And I think we saw some differences.
And Kamala Harris and Vice President Pence, what was your takeaway after watching that debate, Joshua?
Don't kill me. I didn't watch it.
Okay.
I watched highlights, and of course, because of my you guys weren't here when I told you what I do. I work for a not-for-profit company called Progressive Turnout Project. We basically trying to win this election. We're trying to make Joe Biden president. I didn't watch the debate because I'm honestly exhausted. I get a daily countdown. Literally a daily countdown of how many days we have left till this election's over. So after watching the Trump
Yeah, so.
Like it was just I was like, I can't do this with Mike Pence. Like like I can do Trump because he's a straight up idiot. Anyone with the 2 brain cells can just look at this man. Children can look at this man and say, okay, he's a cartoon movie villain.
Yeah.
Right.
Like straight up cartoon movie villain. So like, but with Mike Pence, he's like the Lex Luthor.
Mm-hmm.
So
Right.
and I'm queer, and everything that kind of anything, and the way he spews his nonsense so calmly, like like I honestly, like it scares me that Donald Trump may die and Mike Pence becomes president, because if that happens,
Right.
it's like yeah, Donald Trump's bad, but he's a moron. He's a egotistical moron. He could have made this country a lot worse in these past 4 years. He could have done a lot worse. He did bad. He did bad. He did bad, but he could do a lot worse.
Right. I was wondering if anybody was relieved that Kamala Harris was put on the ticket, or it just didn't matter to you. I mean, like, did it change your mind?
I don't like prosecutors.
I think, Jasmine, I think you owe me a glass of wine when you see each other, because I remember us in Berlin on this ride on the subway, and I was saying the ticket very well could be Biden-Harris. And you were
oh
like,
my God.
You weren't excited. Weren't excited because you had like what's her name, Liz Warren and Bernie Sanders.
Right.
A bunch of folks then like disappeared very, very quickly, and like in the end, Biden-Harris to me made sense right from the start in a way to combination.
Wow. Yeah. Maybe because right, exactly. Maybe because you see things I don't see, and because I'm kind of in a bubble still too. But yeah, I don't think anybody was excited about Joe Biden. That's probably why I said that. Like, is anybody excited about him?